That's right. Like I told you guys before, tonight episode is about forgiving yourself. That's right. We ain't talking about forgiving other people. We ain't talking about forgiving the job that let you go for whatever reason. We are strictly talking about forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself and moving forward. I made these index cards for y'all because I'm gonna let it soak in just a little bit for you. First one is forgive yourself for your past today. That's right. Forgive yourself for your past on today. This very second, I want you to start forgiving yourself. It's not always going to be easy, but guess what? You have to start somewhere. You've forgiven the people who've hurt you. You're forgiving the people who put you down. Even gave your previous employer who let you go and you've been with them for 10, 15, 20 plus years, right? You forgave that manager who let you go when they knew they ain't had no business letting you go and they knew that they was wrong. You forgave them and you moved on. So why can't you forgive yourself? It's one of the To me, it's been one of those crazy thoughts in my mind for a while. Like, how come we as human beings, how come is it so hard for us to forgive ourselves? I could tell you a few reasons why. A couple of reasons why it's hard for us to forgive ourselves is number one, we are ashamed, we are embarrassed, we feel that we are not enough, we feel that some of the decisions that we made, we impacted people we truly love and didn't mean to impact them in a negative way. And it could be so many other reasons, right? But I come today to tell you it's time to let it go so that you can be free. Jay, how you might be asking, Jay, where do I begin? Where do I start? First and foremost, you have to definitely sit down and think about it. Think about what is weighing you down. Think about what areas you are stuck in life with forgiving yourself. Sit down and think about, what is those things that hold you back or could be possibly a trigger because of a decision that you may have made, right? So once you actually thought about it and you know exactly what it is that you need to forgive yourself on, start working towards it little by little, because nothing is never going to be done like overnight. If it is, you're really not doing the work. You just want a microwave quick fix. And guess what? Every time you do a microwave quick fix, guess what? You always have to go back to the beginning and do the process all over again. So why not take your time and put in the work for yourself? Especially if you've been rocking with me since I've been starting my podcast. And if you've been rocking with me when I send out my morning messages, listen, everything is a process. If you working on yourself to be a better you, here's something that we also need to work on, which is forgiving yourself. One of the sayings I actually just made up today when I was texting a friend is give yourself grace. Why give yourself grace? Because grace is what wins the race. Let me say it for you again because I did kind of mess up just a little bit. Let me say it for you again. Grace is what wins the race. Give yourself some grace. Forgive yourself. Look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? I forgive myself for putting my kids through that situation. Start there. I forgive myself for making the repeated same decision over and over again. I forgive myself for not showing up for myself. I forgive myself for doubting myself. I forgive myself for even thinking that I was not enough. Gotta start there. And once you start there, you do that every single day. Because when you first do it, the first time you do it, it's gonna feel crazy. It's gonna be like, oh, okay, all right. But do that repeatedly until you begin to believe it. And then once you believe it, then that's when you'll start forgiving yourself. And as you begin to forgive yourself through this process, the weight of whatever it is or whatever it was is going to begin to just roll off. I promise you. Ask me how I know. Jay, how do you know? I'm glad you asked because I was the person who put on a mask every single day and kept smiling. I made it through 2 depression, deep depression, down in the trenches. But yet, I wasn't forgiving myself for the things that I allowed to happen, for the things I allowed to take place. I had to forgive myself because there was a time in my life that I didn't think that I was enough. I don't care how many people sat up there and told me, you're pretty, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're intelligent, you're a go-getter, you're a hustler, like you go and get it, like by any means necessary. But at some point in my life, I thought that I wasn't enough. And I had to forgive myself for even thinking that. Because if you've been rocking with me on these episodes since my podcast started, and if you've been rocking with me when I send out my morning messages, and you've been rocking with me on social media platforms, you will know that I'm big on your mindset. Your mindset is what changed everything. Your mindset is what's going to keep you stuck. Your mindset is what's going to get you through your current situation. Your mindset is what's going to get you through forgiving yourself. Believe me when I tell you, when people say a mind is a terrible thing to waste, listen, look at me. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. You can do so much if you change your mindset. You gotta forgive yourself. It's okay. You might even start crying during this process, and that's okay. You have to give yourself grace. You have to. Why? Because grace is what wins the race. It's okay to cry. You have to release it some way, somehow. You might even be angry because of the situation, but you have to forgive yourself. We are all human. We all make mistakes that we like, I don't think that was right, or I don't think I should have did that. But once you forgive yourself, it's okay. And as you begin this process and as you continue to forgive yourself, guess what? It's going to be somebody else later on down the road that you're going to be able to help. You're going to be able to help them forgive themselves or even explain to them why they need to forgive themselves. Let me ask you a question and let this sink in for a little bit. How can you forgive someone who done you wrong and move on, but you can't forgive yourself so that you can move on with your life? Think about that right there. You say you moved on. Yeah, you may have moved on from that job. You may have moved on from that friendship. You may have moved on from that relationship. You may have moved on from your parents or whatever the case may be. You may have moved on for bad habits, but guess what? You ain't forgave yourself yet because it's still sitting in the back of your mind like, shame on you. You shouldn't have did it. Look at where you at now. Look at all them people you impacted in a negative way. Your kids wouldn't be where they at now had you would have did X, Y, and Z. You just let your parents keep doing whatever they want. You keep letting that man do whatever he want. You keep letting that. Shut up. Shut up. That's what you need to tell your inside voice in your head. Shut up. It's time for you to forgive yourself and move forward. Take those bricks off of your shoulders. Take that heavy book bag off of your bag. That heavyweight book bag and no bricks on your shoulder. That ain't a part of weightlifting or exercising. That's weighing you down. And it's weighing you down in your life. And guess what? You tearing up the inside of yourself. So when you working on you, it's some closets that we gonna have to open up that you want. Let me correct myself. When you working on yourself, there are some closets that you are gonna have to open up and let them skeletons fall. But guess what? You pick up each bone one by one, put it in the garbage bag. One by one. Pick it up. Pick it up. Each bone, pick it up. Until you got up all those skeletons. I mean, all those bones, whatever, skeleton, however you want to break it down. You got it into the trash bag. Tie that bag up, throw it over your back, and take it to the dumpster. There you go. There you go. There's your process. I'm telling you. When you begin to forgive yourself, you will have a better thought process. Like you won't be, your mind won't be crammed with a bunch of noise, or you won't even be walking on eggshells around certain situations, around certain individuals. Yeah, you may have forgiven them, but you ain't forgave yourself for allowing certain things to keep happening in your life. You won't be walking in on eggshells, going into a room full of people who are phenomenal, who are beautiful, who are smart and intelligent, but because you didn't think that you was enough, now you walking on eggshells into those rooms when the whole time, baby, you smarter than all of them. You look beautiful, stunning, stunning. You are the one that they was waiting to walk into the room to analyze a situation. You were the one who they were waiting on to walk into the room for that process and improvement, for that business to really take off. And you thought you wasn't enough. Forgive yourself. That's a big one. Forgive yourself for not thinking that you were enough. This don't just go for women. This go for men too. Because men, y'all have some egos. Y'all got pride. Don't knock it. But guess what? Forgive yourself and move forward. I got some more cards for y'all that I wanted to, you know, just share with y'all. And I gotta put them in my back pocket. So, what does that say? Forgive yourself. Forgive, then move forward. This one right here, this is what I need for y'all to do. Once you forgive yourself, start moving forward. Once you, and this is how you know you can start moving forward, is when you start believing that you forgave yourself. If you don't feel it here in your heart, you ain't ready to move forward because you still got some doubt. So you need to forgive yourself. So once you have that confidence that you believing in yourself, that you actually forgave yourself, baby, move forward. Okay? All right. The next one that I got for y'all, dang, these cards are sticking. Next one is parents, children, ex, co-workers, church members. These are the top ones where, we forgive them, but we don't forgive ourselves for allowing certain things to happen. Y'all may ask, why do I have parents up here? Because some people have parents that, maybe strung out on drugs, alcohol, gambling problem. They are thieves. They've been in and out of jail. They are abusive, verbally, physically. And as you get older, you have to learn that, okay, whatever they went through in their life, you're not fully going to understand they're wise. You may understand just based off of what they tell you or what people tell you, but I am a firm believer you never know what's going on in a person's mind. You don't. They'll tell you, and you can only go off of what they tell you. But you don't ever know what they're really dealing with or really know their root cause unless they tell you. All right? So forgiving the parents, but also forgiving yourself that you didn't know that your parent, your mom, or your dad went through X, Y, and Z. So forgive yourself. Your parents are your parents. That's something that you can never change. You know what I mean? They did the best that they could do with what they knew how. Baby, when you turn 18, you an adult. You got the choice to change it. But you know what? That's an episode for another night. Okay? The next one is children. The reason why I have children on here is because a lot of time as a parent, no, I'm not even gonna say a lot of time. Let me correct myself. All the time as a parent, we just do what we think is best. There's no book out there, there's no instructions, there's no. Now the parents who never had an issue from their child, and baby, listen, I tip my hat off to you. You are blessed. You are blessed. Now some of us parents, we had some that, may have showed us ourselves, right? But within the same breath, we have to forgive ourselves on how we raised our children, because you did the best that you can do with what you know how, right? And then also you got to forgive yourself, because sometimes we get into these relationships and we don't know, like, going in, or we're blind going in, or we really don't want to take heed to some red flags, right? But once you let that relationship go, it's okay to forgive yourself. I've told my two oldest before, forgive me for what I put them through. You know what I mean? I love them dearly, and they're just like, "Mommy, it's okay. It's okay." And I'm just like, "No, I have to say this for myself. Please forgive me." You know what I mean? I did the best that I could do. All right, X. Reason why I have X there is because we forgive our ex, male or female, but yet we still don't forgive ourselves for allowing certain things that we hold on, let me correct myself. We don't forgive ourselves for the things that we allow to happen repeatedly, right? So after everything is said and done in a relationship, what happened? You sit back and you think about everything that took place, how you could have done better, or what red flags there were, and how many times you took that person back, and how many times you forgave them, and all this other stuff, right? Forgive yourself for that. Forgive yourself. Move on. Move on. I need you to completely let that go. Coworker. Why do I have coworker on there? Because when you work, 9 times out of 10, you're working with somebody for a majority of the day. So you're spending the time with them, right? But for whatever reason, misery loves company. And they just talk, negative, this, that, and the third, right? But you forgave them and let them be. But you didn't forgive yourself for opening up to them. Because now you're like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have told her that, or this, that, and the third. Okay, well, it happened. You said it. You let her in to your private circle, and it is what it is. Being as though you no longer fool with that individual, let it go. Move on with your life. Move on with your life. You forgave that person and said, you know what? I'm gonna let you be. I forgive you. Even though you did me wrong, I forgive you. Forgive yourself. It's okay. Everybody has personal issues that could be like, oh, wait a minute. What they say, that T clock, that T. Listen, we all got issues. So let it go. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for allowing somebody to get into your personal space and you didn't know. Move on. All right, here's a big one. Church members. A lot of church members have hurt individuals. A lot of people have left different churches because of what was said, what was done to them, church members. You forgave the church members. You no longer go to that church. You no longer deal with those people. But forgive yourself. Co-worker and church member are almost like the same thing. You allow people into your personal space. Guess what? And they was messy with it. Okay, everybody got some mess. Ain't nobody perfect. Guess what? Forgive yourself for allowing those individuals into your personal space, into your personal circle, letting them know X, Y, and Z, this, that, and the third. Forgive them. Forgive yourself. Move on. Move on. Okay? So those are some key points. My next thing that I have for you guys on forgiving yourself is previous relationships, decisions, and habits. Okay? So we already discussed previous relationships. You know what I mean? That falls under the whole X thing. Decisions. Sometimes we make decisions based off of, in the moment. You struggling. You got to figure out how you going to get X, Y, and Z. How you going to get your rent paid? How you going to get your light bill paid? How you going to feed them babies? How you going to get to work? How you going to do this? How you going to do that? Guess what? We make decisions. We all make bad decisions at some point in time. We may have made a decision where it impacts the people we love the most. But guess what? Forgive yourself for those decisions and let's move forward. This one right here, the decision one, that's a tough one. And it's going to take you some time. But I promise you, if you keep working at it, baby, you going to get it. It's going to roll off of you. That brick is going to roll off of your shoulder. That weight that's on your back, it's going to roll off. Here's another good one. Habits. Habits. Some of us got some bad habits that we just can't break. And I'm going to correct you and correct myself. Bad habits, you can break. It just takes discipline. That's it. That's it. You got a shopping habit, you maxed out all your cards. Payday tomorrow. You got stuff in your Amazon cart. What you going to do? But because we forgiven ourselves, we going to forgive ourselves for that shopping habit and we going to move forward and we going to let it go. It's okay to scale back because some of those shopping habits had landed lights being cut off, internet being cut off, eviction notice on the door, no gas to work, no food. Yeah, habits. Shopping isn't just one. People are addicted to sex, drugs, gambling. Um, let's see, what else? What else is another one? Constantly getting your hair done. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with it, but if the hairdo can last a little bit longer, or you can get a cheaper one, do that. So again, habits. Forgive yourself for those wrong habits that have caused negative impact in your life. Okay? Forgive yourself today. And then for the last one, before I wrap this episode up, can y'all see that? Read it. Write it down. Put it in your phone. Forgive and be free. Can't stress it enough. Forgive and be free. Once you forgive yourself, you will be free. 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 It will be like a weight is lifted off of you, like I said several times in this episode, and you will be able to breathe. Why? Because those things that kept you bound, those things that you were embarrassed about, those things that you were ashamed about, those things that kept you stuck are no longer keeping you bound. So, like I said earlier, give yourself grace because grace is what wins the race. Thank you guys for joining me again on another episode of Just Love. And with that being said, I want everyone to have a wonderful, fabulous night, week, day, month, the rest of the year, on purpose with a purpose. And always remember, without a shadow of a doubt, Jay love you.